NBA Playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and Easy Drinking Bush Light. Head for the mountains of Bush. By Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Armor All. And by HBO. Just you wait.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. In the last 10 years, only 2 teams with the home court edge were swept in the first round. Utah in 88-89 by Golden State, and Milwaukee 2 years later by Philadelphia. The Orlando Magic now join that group, swept by the Indiana Pacers 3-0. The final tonight was 99-86. Coming up next, Game 2 of our doubleheader. Seattle moves in for the kill at Denver's McNichols Arena. It's the Nuggets and the Sonics with Pete Van Wieren and Doug Collins calling it next.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to McNichols Sports Arena in Denver. Tonight is Game 3 in the best-of-5 series between the Seattle Supersonics and the Denver Nuggets. Seattle's up 2-0, but Denver feels they can win here at home. I'm Pete Van Wieren along with Doug Collins. We'll have all the action from McNichols coming your way right after this.
The NBA Playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and Easy Drinking Bush Light. Head for the mountains of Bush. By Jeep and Eagle, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. And by AT&T, the official telecommunications company of the NBA.
Welcome back to McNichols Sports Arena in Denver. We are just underway. The opening quarter, the Denver Nuggets leading at 4-2. Bryant Stith has hit a couple of baskets for Denver. 2 free throws, and now that basket. Michael Cage, the basket is first 2. Shawn Kemp hit the free throws. We're tied at 4. Pete Van Wieren, Doug Collins with you. Game 3 of the best-of-5 Western Conference Series between Seattle and Denver. Seattle up 2-0. Reggie Williams back out to Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf for 3. And Doug, a first quarter performance by the Nuggets, very important in this one.
Yes, it is, Pete. They've dug themselves a hole in both first quarters on the road. Down 8 in Game 2, down 11 in Game 1. And the three-point shot has been very important to this team. Last in the regular season, they're now 14 for 31 in the playoffs, shooting about 45%.
Reggie Williams with the block. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf for the finish. He's got 5, and Denver off to a 9-4 lead.
Well, this is a good start. They've shot the ball well. They've hit a 3. Stith's hit 2 nice plays. They posted up nicely, and they've gotten the crowd into the game.
We're going to get an offensive foul call here against Seattle. It's on Shawn Kemp, his first. Our Jeep Eagle starting matchups: Kemp, Schrempf, Cage, Gill, and Payton for the Sonics. Ellis, Reggie Williams, Mutombo, Stith, and Abdul-Rauf for the Denver Nuggets. We've got a timeout called by Seattle. 9:32 to go in the first.
Well, Denver's off to a great start, Pete, that we talked about. They're shooting 4 out of 6 for 67%, including a 3-point shot to lead 9-4. Let's go through the Game 1 summary. You see where the Sonics dominated. They win by 24, plus 18 offensive rebounds. They had 18 offensive rebounds, plus 18 on the boards. 21 Nuggets turnovers that led to 36 points, and the Sonics made 25 more free throws. Then in Game 2, we'll see the Nuggets did a better job of taking care of the basketball. They only shoot 39%, but the 12 turnovers led to 26 points, and the Sonics still won the battle of the free throw line, plus 11. So that free throw line, we need to keep our eye on that tonight. Seattle has shot 50 more free throws in the 2 games.
Dikembe Mutombo with the finish on the feed from Reggie Williams. It's 11-4 Denver. And right now, the Denver Nuggets dominating in this opening quarter. They've picked up the first 4 rebounds of the game as well. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf called for his first foul. Denver truly believes they can win this game. They beat Seattle during the regular season here twice.
You know, and I think what was very important, Pete, is they won the second half in Game 2. We see Kendall Gill with the quick jump shot, but they outscored Seattle 50-47 in the second half of Game 2. I think that gave them some new life. They were totally dominated in Game 1.
Yeah, Dan Issel very down after Game 1, much more encouraged after the Nuggets showing in Game 2. Williams trying to get it going. That one wouldn't for him. Rebound Kendall Gill. Sonics on the run. This is the Sonics game. Transition. Detlef Schrempf underneath. Got fouled. Stith called for his first. This is from a column that appeared in a Denver newspaper this morning, the Denver Post. That really has Seattle upset. They call them the superficials. And just look at some of the things they said about the Sonics. Cage, invisible. Kendall Gill, off guard. Aptly describes him. Pierce, consistent loser. Come on. George Karl says he may just carry that column with him throughout the playoffs for Seattle. He was a little concerned, though, about his team being a little complacent coming in, wasn't he? You always are when you're up 2-0.
Pete, he was not happy the way they played game 2. Was very excited after game 1. Thought they were very flat in game 2.
Michael Cage with a miss. The rebound, LaPhonso Ellis off to Abdul-Rauf. Denver up 11-6, 8:19 to go. Abdul-Rauf, a 2-point effort, falls short. Rebound, Cage.
Well, see, Seattle's got to remember now, they are the hunted. So every game is going to be like this for them. This is not going to be easy. They're the favorites in a lot of people's eyes, and they're going to have to play every night at a championship level.
Crowd thought Shawn Kemp traveled. Instead, it winds up being a 3-point basket for Gary Payton, his first 3 of the night, to cut the Nuggets' lead to 2.
We haven't seen much trapping right now from Seattle. It's been really straight-up defense. We have not seen the running, jumping. They have not shown much full court in this series. I think George Karl trying to conserve energy.
LaPhonso Ellis got a good look at the basket, but his jumper is short. He gets his own rebound. Going up for the putback, got fouled.
Pete, one of the things that George Karl talked to us about today, says with this altitude and being on the road here in Denver, he might go to the bench a little bit earlier. We've only played, about 4.5 minutes here, but he might go and go a little bit shorter rotations here. He said he feels like on the 3rd time a guy goes in the game, he gets his normal legs back in this altitude. So don't be surprised to see 9 guys in this game early in the first quarter.
Yeah, you're going to see some early substituting by Seattle. It's always been an advantage for Denver playing at home. A lot of teams come in here, especially at the end of a road trip during the regular season. You come in here the last game of a road trip, hit this altitude, you're tired to begin with.
Well, I remember when the coach Dan Issel played here with their great teams, they would lose maybe 4 or 5 games at home the whole season.
Reggie Williams nails the 3.
Now, Pete, the regular season they shot 28%. They're almost at 50%. What is playoffs? You're supposed to be down in 3-point shooting.
14-9, Denver by 5. 7:12 to go, first quarter. The defense chant begins here at McNichols. Shawn Kemp blocked by Mutombo. He led the NBA in block shots during the regular season, and he's averaging over 4 blocks a game in this series. Williams, nice feed inside to Mutombo. Denver 16-9, their lead over the Sonics now.
This place is electric right now.
Gary Payton with Mahmoud leaning on him.
He's trying to post him up. He wants Kemp to get out of the way so he can back him down.
Lost the ball, got it back, comes up empty. Rebound. Pulled away by Abdul-Rauf after the loose ball. Off to LaPhonso Ellis. Ellis over in the corner. Reggie Williams, another 3. What is going on here in Denver? 19-9. 3 3-point baskets for the Nuggets.
This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Well, Pete, the Nuggets are off to a great start. They lead 19-9. Mutombo with a block shot. I'm going to show him in the post here. They do not front him. Normally Seattle fronts in the post. And if we stop it right here, you're going to see the position he got. Normally they're around in the front. They don't front Mutombo, so he gets great position. They drop it in, and he takes it right to the basket. Now, they might have to make an adjustment if he continues to attack aggressively inside.
Sam Perkins is checked in for Seattle, replacing Michael Cage. Denver leading at 19-9 during the regular season. In 82 games, Denver averaged just a little over 2 3-point makes a game. They've already hit 3 in the first quarter here tonight. Kendall Gill is going to try to answer with a 3, and he does.
Well, Denver on the road during the season averages 96.5. At home, they averaged 104, so almost 7.5 points better at home. So they play much better. Now, defensively, On the year, they held Seattle to 43% shooting. Normally they shoot 48%, and in the playoffs they're under 42, Pete.
Dikembe Mutombo left unprotected. He has 6 first-quarter points. 21-12 Nuggets.
You know, I have not seen any trapping out of Seattle. Everything is straight up right now, and Denver's doing a good job penetrating and finding the open people.
Detlef Schrempf going into the paint and paying for it. He'll go to the free throw line.
I think that's going to be 2 on LaPhonso Ellis. If so, they're going to have to probably go to Bryant Williams. Here's the dribble penetration. Reggie Williams is a small forward, has the quickness over Detlef Schrempf, and there's the dunk, a nice step in. So Mutombo very active on the offensive end on the year. Only averages about 12.5 points a game.
Detlef Schrempf at the line for his first point of the night. He hit 77% from the line during the regular season, averaging 18 points a game during this playoff series after a 15-point-a-game average during the regular season.
The thing I like what Denver has done, they've established inside and outside. Yes, they've made 3 threes, but Ellis has gotten inside. Mutombo has got 3 field goals. Stith has made 2 post-up plays, so they've got a nice inside-out attack right now. Here comes the double team now by Schrempf.
Stith trying to go through the paint, off the glass for 2. 6 points for Stith, 23-14 Denver.
That was very easy. He took it right from the top all the way. No one even contested him.
Shawn Kemp came up short. Rebound, though, last touched by Ellis out of bounds. And the ball will stay in Seattle's possession. McMillan's going to check in for the Sonics.
That last foul was on Mutombo, so Ellis has 1 and Mutombo has 1. Ellis does not have 2.
5:04 remaining in the opening quarter. That's been dominated by Denver, 23-14. Nice feed underneath to Sam Perkins.
Well, they ran a little simple down screen, and guys switched, and they did not communicate. So those are the kind of easy baskets that you practice defending against, and they just gave that one up.
23-16, Denver. Mutombo giving it inside to Reggie Williams.
They are so aggressive right now, Pete. Everything going to the basket. They gave the ball up, the hard cut out of the double team, so they are the aggressors right now. And Seattle is reacting, not acting.
Payton blocked by Mutombo. They're going to call goaltending on Mutombo. And the crowd and Dan Issel furious.
Now the question is, had the ball got to the backboard? If it got to the board, it was a good call. Let's see, does it get to the board? I think Mutombo took that to the board. I think that was a bad call.
Winds up being points number 4 and 5 for Payton. Abdul-Rauf's 3 is wide right. Rebound pulled away by Perkins. Here's Seattle in transition. Kendall Gill short. Putback effort by Nate McMillan also came up short.
Well, you see already Nate McMillan off the bench. Sam Perkins off the bench, so they've gone to their 7 players right now. I'm sure you'll see Ricky Pierce real soon, but let's see the other angle at this block shot. Maybe we get a better angle here. Oh, that's a good call. It did go off the board. I'll take it back. That was goaltending. The ball was on its way into the basket.
So Billy's foul on Stith, his second. Nate McMillan at the line, missing the first one. McMillan, a 6th man of the year candidate this year. Now Rodney Rogers checks in for the Nuggets, replacing Stith, who's picked up a couple of early fouls.
Now Rodney Rogers had a big second half in game 2. He had 15 points in the second half, 13 in the third quarter, and really shooting the 3-pointer very well. He's 5 for 8 in the series.
McMillan missing 2. Nuggets leading at 25-18, 4:15 to go in the first. And Reggie Williams has only been averaging 9 points a game in the series, already 8 points in the first quarter here.
Now the key to Denver is try to keep the ball in the middle of the floor as much as possible. When they get on the sides, that's when they get trapped. So watch them to keep the ball as much as possible where Pack has it in the middle.
That's what they were guilty of in game 1, getting caught in the corner. And in game 2, they did a much better job of keeping the ball in the middle of the court.
And their turnovers went from 21 to 12. And what they'll do against the trap is they'll use Reggie Williams as their forward to bring the ball up against the other team's forward, now Nate McMillan, and get Payton and Gill down the floor so they cannot pressure the guards.
That last foul on Sam Perkins is first. Robert Peck over to Reggie. Reggie and Robert Peck, the only 2 Nuggets coming into this series with prior playoff experience.
Oh, nice high low. See, that's what happens when you front. You go high-low, and you throw the ball over the top. Excellent series that time by Denver, taking advantage of the fronting Seattle defense.
Still 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter, and already Denver has had their biggest first quarter of this series. Up 27-18. Perkins gets it back, puts it back.
Hey, Pete, in game 1, in game 2, they had only 37 at half.
That's right. 27-20, a 7-point Denver lead. And Robert Pack will bring the ball down for the Nuggets. It's Pack, Rogers, Mutombo, Reggie Williams, and LaPhonso Ellis on the court now for Denver. Inside, Rodney Rogers off the glass, yes.
They got to like this matchup. Kendall Gill, Rodney Rogers, they go right into the post. So right now, picking and choosing, going to the mismatches and doing a wonderful job.
9-point lead as Rogers, the Wake Forest rookie, gets on the board. Schrempf picks up the loose ball and got fouled in the paint. They're going to call it on Rodney Rogers. It's his first.
They've got to be very excited about Rodney Rogers' progress this year. And there's the high-low. Let's see the high-low, the fronting. Nice play. Ellis seals Mutombo with a nice pass. You don't really think of Mutombo being a great passer, and when you look at the assist-turnover ratio of the big men from Denver, they have 445 assists and 613 turnovers on the year.
Not a number that you like to have. Detlef Schrempf at the line is now 3 for 3. We'll keep a close eye on these free throws tonight, too, because there was a little bit of concern on Dan Issel's part that Seattle had been to the line 50 more times than them in the first 2 games.
Well, the Supersonics have 64 made free throws. The Nuggets have attempted 42. So they have 24 makes in Seattle, and then the Nuggets have attempted in this series.
Schrempf with one more. He's got 4 points, all from the line, 29-22, Nuggets.
So you know what, Seattle, though, is taking a real emotional surge here, and they're only down 7. So if you're George Karl, you say, you know, we're in pretty good position. We just got to lock in our defense.
Trying to get it inside to Rogers. There's a double team on him. He gets it back outside the back. Down to 5 seconds left in the shot clock. Another 3 for Reggie Williams. He's hit 3 of those in this quarter. He has 11 first quarter points.
Pete, let me get you my stat sheet for the year. Reggie Williams, 64 out of 230, 278, 27.8%.
Payton hits the jumper, giving him 7 first quarter points, 32-24. Denver, 2 minutes to go, first quarter.
Keep your eye now. Nate McMillan guarding Reggie Rogers. They're going to go into the post right now, try to get a front. If they go high-low, they'll swing it. They'll get the double team, and they'll free up a shot on the weak side.
Rogers count the basket, and he drew the foul. Nate McMillan commits his first foul. Rodney Rogers with 4 points on the night. A chance for number 5 coming up.
This young guy is going to be a super young player. He's got some small forward skills and a power forward body. He can step out and shoot the ball to 3.
Yeah, they were surprised at the range he showed him during the year. They didn't know he had that kind of range when they drafted him.
He's been their best three-point shooter on the year, shooting him at 38%. So Reggie Rogers is going to be a terrific player here at Denver. You look at he and Ellis and Bryant Stith and Brian Williams and Mutombo. This is a young, exciting team.
Youngest team in the league. Denver with their biggest lead of this first quarter, 35-24, and still a minute 33 to go.
I said
Perkins
Reggie
on
Rogers.
Brian Williams.
I mean Rodney Rogers. I'm sorry.
Perkins had the ball stripped away as he was making a move toward the basket. Robert Pack will be called for his first.
See, I wanted to forget Rodney Rogers' name. I was down at Duke last year when he was playing for Wake Forest, and he hit him for 48 and 40 points one night. So you try to forget those guys' names as much as possible.
Well, it depends on which side you're on.
I guess. Not if you're a Wake Forest fan, right?
And Sam Perkins. 10-year veteran. It was a very, very important acquisition for this Seattle club.
See, he gives you such a matchup because he floats out and shoots the 3 now, so you get all the penetration. And if your center's playing against Sam Perkins, he gets in the lane, and now they pitch out and he shoots the 3. So we have to really watch that tonight. If Mutombo's matched up against him as a shot blocker, that they don't float him out and get some 3-point shots.
6 points for Perkins, 35-26, Denver by 9. Pack loves to do this, tries to go coast to coast, comes up short. Brian Williams tip won't go, tips it again, yes. Brian Williams on the board.
Brian Williams was 8 for 9 from the field going into tonight's ball game.
Nuggets again by 11. Ricky Pierce trying to dish it off, turns the ball over. And the Nuggets get it back.
They have now scored as many points in the first quarter tonight as they did in the first half in game 2.
Under a minute to go now in the first. Denver having by far its best quarter of this series. Reggie Williams shakes free again and got clobbered as he got along the baseline. Detlef Schrempf committing his first. And the veteran Reggie Williams, who's been a spark for the Nuggets here in the first quarter with 3 3-point baskets, a 2-point field goal, 11 points. He only averaged 13 points a game during the regular season.
Well, you know, we talked to George Karl today. I said, George, what is your feeling on your team coming into tonight's game? Do you feel like they're ready to step forward and get this series over? And we talked about a few things, and he said, you know what? I tell you what I'm going to tell them. The last 5 NBA champions have swept their first-round playoff series. And I said, boy, you're looking for anything now to throw out to these guys. And he said, that's part of the playoffs, what you've got to do, and you've got to challenge these guys.
39-26, Denver by 13. Who would have thought this? He felt that Denver had a chance to play well coming in front of the home folks, but this was totally unexpected. This kind of an offensive explosion in the first quarter. Another Denver rebound. Nuggets on the run.
See if they get a 2 for 1. They ought to get a shot up here quickly, go 2 for 1. Well, it's too late now.
Denver has a 12-5 rebounding edge in this first quarter.
Now on the penetration, remember, Rodney Rogers can shoot the 3. You got Williams shooting the 3.
Pack will take the shot. It's short. Rebound comes out deep. Brian Williams inside. Rodney Rogers. 7 points for Rogers. This is the first team in the NBA this year to have a 40-point quarter, and it's the Denver Nuggets. The horn sounds. Nuggets 41. Sonics 26. Reggie Williams leading the Denver Nuggets to a 41-point first quarter and a 15-point lead over the Seattle Supersonics after 1. Game 3 will continue right here on TNT.
The Nuggets by 15. You're going to see the post defense, the fronting of Rodney Rogers, and we're going to run it through here. I guess we don't have it on Telestrator, so we'll go right to live action.
Nuggets 15 points up, 41-26. They out-rebounded Seattle 13-5, and Denver did not turn the ball over a single time in that first quarter. Pack, Brian Williams, Stith, Rodney Rogers, and LaPhonso Ellis, the combination on the court now for Denver. Vincent Askew has checked in for the first time for Seattle. Shawn Kemp's back out there with Perkins, McMillan, and Pierce. Down to 4 seconds left on the shot clock, dishing off underneath to Ellis. Denver working the clock perfectly that time.
And they're getting great guard penetration, and as Seattle is collapsing, guys are presenting themselves to the ball and getting easy layups.
43-26 Denver. Shawn Kemp trying to get something going for Seattle. Back outside to Pierce, almost threw it away. Pierce will stop and fire. He's a guy that can light him up in a hurry.
Now, one of the things now, Denver's had a sensational start. It's a 36 more minutes involved in this game. And we saw Orlando get excited in game 1 and Indiana come back from a 17-point deficit. Pete, they've got to channel this emotion now. They're off to a wonderful start.
Nate McMillan commits his second personal. It'll be inbounded from the sideline by Rodney Rogers. 65% Denver shooting in that first quarter.
How about points in the paint? 24-8.
How about no turnovers?
Man, oh man, that was a picture-perfect first quarter and good start.
Cutting back your turnovers, you go from 21 one game to 10 one game to none in a quarter the next game. Underneath Brian Williams, he got fouled. Well, Denver is getting some calls in this game.
I tell you what else they're doing. They are active cutting to the basket. They are not standing and watching. And when you play a Seattle team that traps and makes you make plays, when you stand around, you allow them to trap you and rotate. This is a slashing, cutting Denver team that we've seen in the first 13 and a half minutes of this game.
Brian Williams at the line. He, too, annoyed some of the Seattle Supersonics with a quote in one of the newspapers here in Denver today. They play physical, but when we get physical with them, they cry and moan. That did not sit well with the Sonics, Brian. The only problem with that is they go to the line. Well, tonight, Denver.
Well, remember George Karl said his goal tonight was that we are the actor, not the reactor. Well, right now they are reacting. Denver is one step quicker than them in every phase. Now, long time to go, but Seattle's on their heels right now.
43-28 Denver, 10:40 to go first half. Ricky Pierce has Stith on him. Takes the shot over Stith and drew the foul. And now Bryant Stith has picked up 3 fouls.
This is the importance of a Ricky Pierce. He's their best half-court player. He's their best shooter. So when things bog down, they go to him. He's a great free throw shooter, so when he gets fouled, normally goes to the line and makes both free throws. So the importance of getting him back from that surgery early enough to get him in rhythm to be ready for the playoffs is vitally important to their championship hopes.
Ricky Pierce, third in the NBA in free throw percentage this year, just under 90%, and he missed the first one. Bryant Stith sitting down with 3 fouls. Reggie Williams is checked back into the lineup for the Nuggets. Pierce makes 1 of 2. He's got 3. 43-29 Denver.
I thought I remembered he missed 3 free throws in game 2. He was 4 for 7.
A very uncharacteristic series from the free throw line for Ricky Pierce.
Boy, Rodney Rogers really looking to post. Now they're going to have to double team. Now you got to make shots.
And these Denver Nuggets hitting threes like that should be their strong point, not their weak point. Biggest lead of the night, 46-29.
This was the worst three-point shooting team in the NBA during the season. We're seeing a shootout right now.
Nate McMillan's first 3 of the night, 46-32. Stopping and firing from short range, LaPhonso Ellis. Perkins the rebound. Off to Kemp. You don't want to get Seattle in this kind of game.
Exactly right. Exactly, because this is what will happen right here. Now, see, Shawn Kemp is standing there and looking down. They got to be very careful about the taunting. That's the thing you got to call right there. The guy dunks it and you stand over him. That's what gets all this stuff started.
46-34 Denver. 9.5 minutes remaining in the half. Rogers right back out to Pat. Good ball movement. Reggie for 3 more. Not this time. Rebound out of bounds. Last touched by Rogers. It's Seattle's ball. 3-point shooting tonight. Denver is 5 for 7.
Now watch Kemp after he dunks the ball. He makes a spectacular play over Brian Williams. Now Brian Williams goes down and look at him stand over him. That's what you got to be careful about right there.
We've got a timeout. 9:27 to go in the half. Pete Van Weer and Doug Collins back with you from Denver with the Nuggets. 46-34. A very surprising start for this Denver team that Dan Issel is very proud of for what they've accomplished here this year, just getting to the playoffs.
And no turnovers. That's the real key.
That's amazing.
Seattle's not been able to get out and run and get the easy transition scores. That's what we talked about.
You were warning Shawn Kemp, be careful before the rough stuff starts. Look what's happened already in the playoffs. Well, 52 technical fouls in the 16 games played up until today.
And you got 9 flagrants, 7 ejections, and missing fines. And plus also the teams have to match those fines when guys come off the bench. So it's been an expensive 1 week for the NBA teams.
And officials will be watching very closely when some of that taunting takes place. Make sure it doesn't get out of hand. Sam Perkins with 8. Brian Williams commits his first.
See now, Perkins, you've got to honor his 3-point shot. Now, when you run at him, Pete, what's the scouting report? Which hand is he? Left hand? Which way does he get to go? Left hand. If you're Brian Williams, you close out on his left hand and push him back the other way. You can let him go to his strength, got a 3-point play opportunity. And against Seattle, they score here. They're only down 9 points, and Denver's playing almost a perfect game.
Perkins does complete the 3-point play. He's got 9. 46-37 Denver.
And they're extending their defense. See if they can rattle them a little bit.
That is something that the Seattle Supersonics do extremely well. And Nate McMillan very concerned about that call because that's the 3rd personal called against McMillan. And Payton's going to have to check back into the lineup quickly for Seattle.
This is a good call. You see his shoulders never get there. He's never square. Moving up underneath Robert Pack. So that's going to be a costly foul because Nate McMillan, I think, is a real stabilizer on this team. He plays 3 positions. He's a terrific defender. They're going to miss him now for the rest of the half.
Robert Pack penetrating. Puts the ball inside. Reggie Williams trying to get it back out to Mutombo.
Ball must have been tipped. Was it tipped?
There's the over and back call. It came very late, though, from Bob Delaney.
That ball was not tipped. That's a good call. It was a late whistle.
That is the first turnover of the night for the Denver Nuggets against a team that led the league in forcing turnovers during the year. You're right, Doug. They did play a perfect quarter. Now Seattle has a chance to get back within 7. We got an illegal defense call.
They made a switch. Denver switched without 2 defensive players coming together. Now, if I'm Dan Issel, I say, okay, that's okay, call that. Make sure now you call it on Seattle because they're number 1 in the league at doing that.
That's exactly what Seattle does a lot and doesn't get the call against them. Payton behind a pick set by Perkins. Rebound Pack on the run. Trying to feed Rodney Rogers for 2. Rogers has 9. Denver up again, 48-37.
I tell you, Rodney Rogers got off the slow start this year, but he is playing terrific.
And a 3-second violation by Seattle is going to give the ball back to Denver. And George Karl is the one who's upset now.
Pete, it amazes me. I look at the body on Rodney Rogers and the power and strength this young man has and his soft shooting touch. And you saw his ability to run the floor and finish. You see the Nuggets +7 rebounding. We talked about the keys. They were being out-rebounded in the first 2 games by 13 rebounds.
The shot clock down to 7. They look inside to Dikembe Mutombo.
Remember, they don't front him, so they can take the ball right inside.
And it falls for him. Mutombo's 8th point. 50-37 Denver. Payton lucky to get rid of the ball there. Perkins for 3. Way too strong. Rebound Reggie Williams. Look at the Nuggets in transition.
Watch Rogers for 3. Spotted up in the corner. They've got to get to him.
Robert Pack had a little trouble controlling the ball when they got to the front court, so they have to run their half-court offense now. There's the penetration by Pack. And he really had nowhere to go with that ball.
He is so powerful for a little guy. Remember now, he got second in the slam dunk competition this year to Isaiah Ryder from Minnesota, and you saw the explosiveness of him getting into the lane and then trying to go up, and Ricky Pierce grabbed him by the arm. So he's sideline out of bounds. Denver with a new shot clock.
At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be selecting the Budweiser Player of the Game. Budweiser will donate $1,000 in that player's behalf to the United Negro College Fund.
I'd go back inside to Mutombo once again. They're playing right behind him. He's getting an open shot anytime. Let's see if they try to screen across and maybe get him in the post. And they go high-low. If Mutombo flashes, they can go high-low.
That's what Seattle does. If you pick up the ball and just stand there looking for an open man to pass it to, they get so close to you that they're going to force you to either walk or else they're going to steal the ball from you.
Well, they're going to get their body up on you. They never give you room to make plays.
Denver turnover. Mutombo the rebound down to Robert Pack.
Watch this.
2 easy ones. He has 5 points. Denver 52-37. Timeout Seattle.
Well, the Nuggets still lead 52-37, 6:57 remaining in the second quarter. We're going to take a look here now at Vincent Askew. He's going to take the ball to the basket. He's going to take a bad shot, and we're going to show you the floor spacing here. The shot goes up, and you see these guys were all buried, no one back, and here goes Robert Pack for the layup.
Back to live action, 6:50 remaining. Seattle with the ball. Ricky Pierce in the paint trying to get over to Perkins, and Perkins couldn't control it. Seattle turned the ball over for the 4th time in the game. Nuggets have outscored Seattle 52-37. They've out-rebounded Seattle 16-7.
And the Sonics have 4 turnovers, and now the Nuggets only 2.
Seattle has still been to the free throw line 13 times to Denver 7, so that hasn't changed. But it hasn't mattered so far to the Nuggets tonight. There's another Denver turnover, their 3rd. Ricky Pierce grabbed by Reggie Williams.
That's clear path to the basket. That's 2 shots. It's a good call.
Reggie's first foul.
Now, what is clear path to the basket, Pete? It's when the offensive player is ahead of the defender and he's got a clear path to the basket, and if you wrap him up, even though he's not in the act of shooting, it's still a 2-shot foul. If you foul the guy once he gets into the front court and you grab him before he gets in front of you, then it's only sideline out of bounds. So that's what clear path to the basket means.
Ricky Pierce trying to shake a little bit of a free throw shooting slump. He's now 9 of 13 after after being a 90% free throw shooter, good for third in the NBA during the regular season. 3 misses the other night, and 3 out of 4 now in this game. He's got 5 points, 52-39 Denver.
See if they go that high-low action once again. If they try to front in the post, if Mutombo steps up, he can be a passer.
That time the 3 wouldn't go for them.
See, I think that was taken too quickly. I think when he gets him out of the rhythm of the offense, it's fine.
Ricky Pierce trying to draw another foul. Ball out of bounds. Still belongs to Seattle. 17 on the shot clock. And here comes Kendall Gill back into the game for the Sonics. He'll replace
Ricky Pierce.
Ricky Pierce coming out. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf is in for Robert Pack, who gets a nice hand from the McNichols Arena crowd.
Well, he should, because he played very well. He didn't turn the ball over. He gave them a powerful, strong guard to play against those Seattle guards.
Foul call against Shawn Kemp. He now has 2. 5:45 to go in the half. Denver has cooled off a little from that torrid first quarter when they scored 41 points, but Seattle really hasn't warmed up yet either. Reggie Williams, that's a 2, and he is on fire from outside. 15 points now for Reggie Williams. 54-39 Denver.
How many is that? 4 threes for him tonight?
That's a 2-pointer.
Oh, that was a 2?
That was a 2-pointer. He's got 3 3-pointers and 2 2-pointers tonight. Detlef Schrempf inside. Easy 2 for him, his first field goal. He's got 6, 54-41 Denver.
Remember now, they want to keep the ball in the middle of the floor, so Mahmoud does not want to get off to the side, where Reggie Williams really looking to shoot the ball.
Why not? When you're that hot. 17 points for Reggie Williams.
It's like he played at Georgetown when he was in college.
56-41 Denver. Shawn Kemp over Mutombo.
Well, that was a nice power move. You had Mutombo laying there waiting for the block shot, and Kemp just quick jumped him, and Mutombo could not get up soon enough to defend it.
Denver by 13, 56-43. Reggie Williams.
Are you kidding? Oh, no, that was a pass. That was a pass.
Dikembe Mutombo. He's in double figures now at 10.
That was a pass. He saw Kendall Gill, and he shot an air ball pass.
58-43, Denver by 15. Kemp double teamed. They've got him trapped in the corner. Has to send back outside to Payton. Payton underneath to Detlef Schrempf. Great pass by Gary Payton. And an easy basket again for Detlef Schrempf, who now has 8. 58-45. Denver still comfortably ahead by 13. And they have dominated this first half of play in Game 3.
They're on pace to score 70 points in this first half.
Against Seattle. Dikembe Mutombo, you'll get a trip to the free throw line, though. As he was fouled by Schrempf. That's 2 fouls on Schrempf. Coming up at halftime, our Reebok halftime report. Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios with special guest Alonzo Mourning. And they'll have highlights of tonight's Orlando-Indiana game. Indiana, the first team to advance to the conference semifinals. Also an interview with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, congratulations to Larry Brown and his team. What a sensational series. And also to Brian Hill and the Magic on a wonderful year. I know it's a very disappointing finish to get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs, but that's a young team with a lot to build on. 50 wins this year, and you've got some young superstars to look forward to coming back.
And now you've got some playoff experience.
That's right.
Which is what Dan Issel is so pleased about for this Denver team this year. Nuggets up front have outscored the Sonics by 17. Mutombo just a 58% free throw shooter during the regular season. 1 for 2. Tonight he's got 11. It's 59-45.
You know, his shot looks good. He's got nice rotation. He's got a nice rhythm. Which way is he going to go? He's going to go to his left. You got to push him back to his right hand.
Down to 8 on the shot clock. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Rebound Mutombo. 6 boards for Dikembe Mutombo in this first half. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf to Reggie Williams. They get it back to Reggie. Good look at it, but short this time. Rebound. Fought for, and a loose ball foul is going to be called.
Reggie pulled the
This one's
string
on
on that
Williams.
shot. He was so open. He tried to guide it rather than shoot it. Those are the worst kind of shots to take, is when you have such a good look at it. You almost have too much time.
And with 3:19 to go, Reggie Williams comes out to a standing ovation at McNichols. Darnell Mee checks in for the first time tonight. The rookie out of Western Kentucky. Shawn Kemp having a quiet first half. Lost it. Gill recovers and puts it home. A little 5-foot jumper for Kendall Gill. Gives him 7, 59-47.
Denver needs to finish this last 3 minutes very strong. They've dominated the entire first half. They're up 12. They need a double-digit lead going in at halftime.
An illegal D call against Seattle. That evens the score.
See, that's going to be on Kendall Gill. They pulled all the weak side help, and he was caught there on the weak side guarding nobody.
Well, a timeout's been taken here by Seattle with 2:47 remaining in the half, and the Nuggets leading it by 12.
The Nuggets lead by 12, 59-47. We're going to talk about low post play now. The ball's going to go into the post. This time they choose to double team Mutombo because he's been hurting them. So what do? We stop it, we make 1 pass, 2 passes, 3 passes, and we get to the open shooter. That's the way you beat the double team. And see, Schrempf can't get across the cover. That's nice ball movement, excellent execution.
2:47 to go in the half. Denver leading at 59-47. Denver has shot 66% from the field in this first half. They shot only 40% over the first 2 games. Underneath, Mutombo's pass to Bryant Williams thrown away.
See, he tried to read the high-low again. The weak side got in there. You got to swing the ball 1 more pass and then dump it inside. That's where Mutombo's got to read the floor, something he's not accustomed to doing.
After no turnovers in the first quarter, Denver's committed 4 here in the second quarter. The double team on Schrempf. Gill. Blocked by Mutombo. It belongs to Denver.
The Mutombo factor. Remember we talked to George Karl today, and I said, why do you think that Denver's going to be excited tonight? He said, because of this guy right here. He's very confident, and he plays great against us in this building.
In this mile-high city, they've got signs that say Mutombo, 5,287 feet. Time running out on the shot clock.
That was a quick shot clock.
Something was wrong there.
Was that a full 24 seconds? That seemed awfully
sure
quick,
didn't seem like
didn't
it, did it? Dan Issel can't understand how 24 seconds expired.
Pete, that was quick. I don't know.
1:49 now left in the game. 59-47. Sonics have it back. Detlef Schrempf fouled as he went up for the shot. Foul called against Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, his second. This guy's always been good at getting to the free throw line.
8 points, 3 of 4.
Well, the difference in the Seattle team this year with Kendall Gill and Detlef Schrempf, they're a better passing team. When I talked to George Karl the times during the seasons that I've done their games, he said the thing that has jumped out about them is, number one, they are very unselfish, but they're very, very good passers, and it's made them a better team. Their assists are up much more this year, averaging 5 more assists a game than their opponents.
Ricky Pierce in for Kendall Gill. Brian Williams sits down for Denver. And LaPhonso Ellis checks back in.
So I think this minute 39 is very, very critical for Denver. They've dominated. If Detlef Schrempf makes his free throw, it's a 10-point game. And Denver needs a couple field goals here. Again, double-digit is a psychological advantage going in at halftime.
Remember, Denver led by 15 at the end of the first quarter. Down to 10 now, 59-49, a minute and a half to go.
You see Rodney Rogers developing the play up at top, bringing it up. So Rodney's going to be the point guard up here, or the point forward, and try to bring Rauf off screens.
Trying to beat Detlef Schrempf. That one was blocked by Sam Perkins. And a loose ball picked up by Shawn Kemp. Look at this guy handle the ball. Now Kemp posted up back outside to Schrempf.
See Perkins for 3.
Mutombo staying with him. Perkins still got the shot to go.
See, Mutombo's got to go out and cover him out to the three-point line, and now he can beat him again, Pete. He went to his left. Have you seen him go to his right yet?
Rodney Rogers collides hard with Gary Payton.
Another turnover now. Got a chance to cut this now to 6.
Ricky Pierce, no. Rebound, Rogers. Giving it off to Darnell Mee. Down to Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. 41 seconds to go in the half.
This is where a young team has to compose itself. Don't let their energy and emotion get the best of them.
Trying for a three-pointer with a lot of time left in the shot clock there. They battle for it. Darnell Mee comes away with it and scores. The rookie out of Western Kentucky makes it a 10-point game again.
They need a stop right here. It's an important stop for this young team.
The crowd here at McNichols loving what they've seen of their Nuggets here in Game 3 in this first half. Schrempf thinking about it, now gives it in to Shawn Kemp. He's tied up by Darnell Mee, has the ball pulled away, but we're going to get a foul called against Mee. We've had 12 calls against Seattle and 13 now against Denver in this first half, so it's been a very evenly balanced game as far as fouls.
Hubert Evans talking to Mutombo right now, and I watched him. He walked over and says, Dikembe, stop saying come on to Kemp when he's isolating against you. He had his hand down like bring it to me, which is sort of a form of taunting. So he went over and said, let's cut that out right now.
Michael Cage checks back in. Sam Perkins sits down for Seattle. Just over 5 seconds to go. Denver up by 10. Kemp making 1 of 2. 7 first half points. 61-52. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. There's the horn ending the first half. The Denver Nuggets led it by 15 at the end of the quarter, and they've been able to maintain a 9-point lead here at halftime. In Game 3, it is Denver 61, Seattle 52. Stay tuned for the Reebok halftime report. Ernie Johnson with Alonzo Mourning back in Atlanta.
The Reebok Halftime Report is brought to you by Reebok, who reminds you that on Planet Reebok, there are no rules.
Halfway home at McNichols Arena, and it is Denver 61-52 over Seattle. I'm Ernie Johnson. This is Alonzo Mourning. This is the Reebok Halftime Report. Home cooking is treating the Nuggets well tonight, big guy.
Without a doubt. Denver has come out and they've basically set the tempo of the game. They've been hitting some high percentage shots, and they've had a big game out of Reggie Miller.
And there were Reggie Williams.
Reggie Williams.
Yeah, Reggie Miller was also big in the earlier game tonight because Indiana is through to the Eastern Conference semifinals. They did away with the Orlando Magic, made it a clean sweep, feeding off the home crowd excitement. Though it was Orlando putting together a good run at the end of the first half. There was Penny Hardaway. They're up 52-46 at the break. We go to fourth quarter. Indiana down 80-75, and the Dutch boy in the paint, Rick Smits, over Big Tree Rollins. Shaq had gone to the bench with foul trouble. Reggie Miller, 31 points. They're up 81-80. And they play the great D. Late in the game, Smits with the block. Look at Vern Fleming diving on the floor. Indiana comes away with a loose ball. Look at the bottom of your screen, Reggie Miller waving for that thing. I can feel it, guys. Get me the ball. They do. Three-pointer. Splash. Series. The Pacers, for the first time ever in their NBA playoff history, get out of the first round. They sweep the Orlando Magic. 99-86 is the final score. Now, Zoe, they're going to meet either Miami or Atlanta, and it looks like they could give either of those teams a good series.
Well, you got to talk about the play of Reggie Miller. I mean, he came out and he really controlled the game, and he showed why he's an all-star in this league. Indiana, they've played both the Hawks and the Heat very well this season, so it'll be exciting to see who they'll match up against, and I think they'll play both teams very well.
Indiana takes care of business and now waits for the winner of Atlanta-Miami. When the Reebok halftime report continues, you will hear from Dennis Rodman, suspended and fined by the league today after earlier being told to clean up his act.
You know, I'm not going to back down because a man said, hey, you got to clean up your act. If you don't, you're going to get punished. That's not the way the game should be played. You know, you got to go out there and be a man. And that's the way Dennis Rodman's going to be. I'm going to be a man. I'm going to stand up for my right. You know, if they want to kick me out the league, I think that's very unjustified. And hey, you know, they want to make me an example, and I don't think that's right either.
And welcome back to the Reebok Halftime Report. Dennis Rodman will sit out Game 3 of the Spurs-Jazz series tomorrow night, suspended for one game and fined $10,000. Rodman's actions have placed him front and center through 2 games in that series, trying to shrug off Coach John Lucas in Game 1, followed by rough stuff in Game 2. A flagrant foul underneath as Tom Chambers hits the deck. Another flagrant foul was whistled in an incident with the mailman Karl Malone, as Rodman goes up, comes down hard on 32. He was not whistled for a flagrant on an incident here with John Stockton. Stockton suffering a bruise to his thigh on the knee from Rodman, but that did precede his second technical of the game and his ejection. Dennis Rodman and the Spurs arrived in Salt Lake City this evening, and I spoke with Rodman about a half hour ago. Dennis, in your mind, do you deserve the one-game suspension and the $10,000 fine the NBA has handed down?
I don't think so. I just think that I'm me, and I'm going to do what Dennis Rodman's going to do. And that's just the way it is.
Did Dennis Rodman cross the line over the weekend against Utah with the Karl Malone situation, the Tom Chambers undercut, the John Stockton knee?
Hey, Ernie, let me tell you something. There's a lot worse things has happened in the NBA this year, besides them saying, pinpointing one thing that I've done in a game, or saying that I deliberately put my knee at John Stockton. Why are they pinpointing the things that I do in a game? What about certain things that people do in a game? The hard fouls, the pick and roll, the going up and getting hit. What about those things? Do they count at all?
I'm not.
I just want to know. I just want to know that.
Yeah, I'm sure there are other hard fouls going on and flagrants going on in other series, but sticking just to the matter at hand. Do you see their point in the flagrants that they called in the Utah series? I mean, was that clean basketball, Dennis?
That's clean basketball. I didn't deliberately do that. I mean, they saying that I went under Tom Chambers and basically chopped him down. You know, I don't think I didn't do that. I just, you know, he went up, I went towards the basket, and that's basically it. And the one with John Stockton, I don't think that anyone can ever say that Dennis Rodman's a dirty player. I'm not a dirty player. I'm a hard worker. I go out there and try to kick ass, and basically that's it. You know, I did not go out there and stick my knee out and hit John Stockton in his leg. No. They trying to say that I planted it, looked down at my knee, looked at his knee, precisely when he stepped with that right foot, boom, then I stuck my knee out. That ain't the way it happened. He just came down the lane, and I tried to hit him, and I didn't get him. I just hit his leg, basically like that.
How about the impact this is going to have on this team now? You're not going to be there for what can be a pivotal Game 3. And when you do come back for Game 4, do you think the microscope is really going to be on every move you make?
I don't think it'd be on me. I think people are going to say, damn, he's back. Let's try to do something to try to destruct him. That's not going to happen. I'm going to go out there and put a smile on my face and go out there and grab 20 rebounds. And, hey, if we win, great. If we don't, hopefully that we win the first game. And then the second game we don't win, we go back to the dome and kick some butt. Basically, that's going to be it.
You know, Dennis, from talking to David Robinson, I know he appreciates the contributions that you bring to the table night in and night out. But do you have to back down a little bit at the risk of hurting this team's playoff chances now?
I'm not backing down from nobody. You know, you look at New York's team, they're a very physical team. They go out there and do it day in and day out. And they look at me and microscope me and say, oh, there's a guy right there. We got to pinpoint him and see what he does. I don't think it's fair that they look at me and say, hey, you're doing something that's not totally right. I think that's unfair. I think that I bring a lot to this game. I think I bring a lot of excitement to this game. I think people like to see the blonde-haired bomber going out there and doing his thing. If they don't like that, I look at it like this. The game of basketball, there are men are men, and the sheep run like hell. That's why I look at it.
Welcome back to the Reebok Halftime Report. Ernie Johnson and Alonzo Mourning. We've seen what Dennis Rodman had to say tonight. Where do you stand on this thing? You're a physical guy, too, and I know that emotions come into it, and you can lose your emotions at times. How do you see what Dennis had to say?
Well, Dennis is an intense player. You know, when you're an intense player and you're in this playoff atmosphere, things are gonna happen. And the playoffs are generally physical. And they're very physical, and just sometimes you got to draw the line with some of the fouls, but at the same time, you got to hold your own out there. And I think some things that have happened, not just with Dennis, but in a couple of other incidents in the games throughout the playoffs, I think some of them have gone a little bit too far, and you got to draw the line sometime. But you really can't fault Dennis, because Dennis is an intense player, but he's human. And he's going to make mistakes, and when we do make mistakes, the league has set up guidelines where you'll be punished for them.
And Dennis will sit out Game 3 once again of the Spurs-Jazz series, which continues tomorrow night. Here on TNT tonight, Denver with a 61-52 lead over Seattle. The third quarter's coming right up.
The Reebok Halftime Report has been brought to you by Reebok, who reminds you that on Planet Reebok, there are no limits.
Along with Doug Collins, Pete Van Wert, welcoming you back to McNichols Arena in Denver, where the Nuggets have a 61-52 lead over the Sonics at halftime of Game 3, a game the Nuggets must win to stay alive in the playoffs. And Doug, you said going into the first quarter, the first few minutes of the opening quarter could very much determine how Denver is going to do tonight. They're going to have to play almost the same the first few minutes of the third quarter.
Absolutely, and I'm a little nervous if I'm Dan Issel. We played almost a perfect first half, and we show you all these statistics. You'll say we're only up 9. I'm a little bit nervous right now.
Yeah, they played extremely well, particularly in the first quarter, but even for the half, Nuggets shooting 62% compared to the Sonics 50. Fast break points in the Nuggets' favor, 11-2. The Nuggets dominated in virtually every category. 19-10, they out-rebounded the Sonics. And even the turnover story, which hurt Denver so much in games 1 and 2, not a big factor at all tonight.
Well, it's just they've done everything right tonight. You're going to see Vincent Askew on the drive, and he's going to take the tough shot. This is going to lead to the run out by Robert Pack when no one protects the backcourt. Robert Pack did a nice job off the bench. He had 5 points and 5 assists in 10 minutes, and I have a feeling we're going to see a little bit more of him in the second half because he gives them a more powerful guard. Mahmoud a little bit more of a shooter, and then Rodney Rogers played a great half. He had 9 points. You see the good ball movement, and Reggie Williams nailing the three. He had 17 points, 6 for 9, 3 for 4 from 3. He also had 5 assists and 2 blocked shots. So Reggie Williams, sensational. But again, Pete, I thought that at the end of the half, Seattle started making their little push, and they got it down to under 10. And as you said, right now it's going to be vitally important. They've got to come out of that locker room, speaking of Denver, and make that same emotional start that they did to start this game.
And get the crowd involved.
Exactly right.
Like they did in the first quarter.
Because if Seattle hits you a little run here, the crowd will get uneasy.
Well, here we go, quarter number 3 underway. They try to get the ball into Mutombo. He was able to find the handle on it finally and draw the foul on the way up.
That was a set play. Reggie Williams coming off a screen by Mutombo, and as they switched it, Mutombo went right to the basket, and Abdul-Rauf with a little bounce pass. It was more of a skipper, and he had to go down to get it. Never really could control it, but he did get fouled.
Kendall Gill committing his first. And Mutombo at the line, 11 points in the first half, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Mutombo, not really a big scorer. He's more of a defender than a scorer. He averages 13 points a game, but 9 rebounds a game, 4 blocked shots a game, and clogs up the middle against everybody.
You know, the first 2 games in Seattle, the Sonics averaged 16.5 offensive rebounds. First half, only 2.
Right. And Denver had 7 offensive boards in the first half.
That's a major stat. You take points off turnovers and offensive rebounds. Those are really things that Seattle really thrives on.
63-52 Denver early in the third. Detlef Schrempf with 12 points. He's now Seattle's leading scorer.
Someone's got to help him because he cannot, Reggie Williams can't handle Detlef Schrempf in the post. So someone's going to have to come down and double team.
Mutombo with Cage on him.
And he's got a jump hook. It's a shot he likes to make. So if he goes back baseline, there's a little fading jump shot.
And Detlef Schrempf pulls away the rebound. Once again, the Sonics a chance to cut further into that Denver lead. 63-54. Detlef again. Wide right this time, almost tipped in, and finally is tipped in by Detlef Schrempf after almost being tipped in by Denver.
That's a tough matchup again. Reggie Williams, 2 straight baskets now for Schrempf, so it looks like they're going to try to attack him right now. He's wearing him out on offense, so you got to make him play defense.
7 points is the size of the Denver lead now. Reggie Williams. If that goes, it did.
If that goes, what's the lottery number we want to play tonight? What is it?
19 points for Reggie Williams, including 3 3-pointers.
If that goes,
You know, he didn't have a game this year where he scored more than 27 points. That was a season high during the regular season. He's better than halfway to that already. Gill comes around Cage and gives it back to Michael. And another foul call. This one against LaPhonso Ellis. His second.
This is the Reggie Williams up and under move. He's got Shawn Kemp. He up fakes him and then leans under with the little scoop shot. It's one of those playground shots that goes in, and the coach is saying, no, great shot. Or the announcer is saying, if that goes.
Michael Cage at the free throw line. Cage only a 49% free throw shooter on the year. This has never been one of his strong points. He makes 1 of 2. Mutombo pulls it away. 65-57. Nuggets lead it by 8. Reggie Williams drawing a crowd. They swing it out to Bryant Stith, who hits the jumper. One thing Dan Issel likes about Bryant Stith, whether he's shooting well or not, he's always in the right place on offense and on defense.
And he's shooting well tonight. He's now 4 out of 5 from the floor. So Bryant Stith with a very nice game.
67-57. Nuggets by 10. Kemp blocked by Mutombo. Reggie Williams. Right wing to Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
Well, he needed that when he had missed his last 4 jump shots after hitting his first of the game. And not only did he need that, but Denver did. They're now back up 12.
69-57, 9.5 minutes to go, third quarter.
They say Rauf, there it is. That's what the crowd is saying, Rauf, there it is.
Kendall Gill's jumper is strong. Rebound pulled away by Ellis. Down to Reggie Williams. 2 more. The opening minutes of quarter number 3, just like the opening minutes of quarter number 1. Timeout, Seattle.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Dutch Boy. Give your home the look that lasts.
Well, the Nuggets have gotten their good start in the third quarter, back up to 14 on a 10-5 run. And Pete, this about 3 times this has happened tonight where a shot goes up and they don't protect the backcourt. They've got numbers once again. Gary Payton allows Reggie Williams to leak out and gets an easy breakaway shot. And this is not the same Seattle team that I've seen during the course of the year. It's almost like they're a step behind on everything.
Yeah, I think George Karl's worst fears right now coming true. His team playing a little sluggishly. Still out of time, though. 71-57 Denver. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Michael Cage. Back outside to Gary Payton. That's a 3-point attempt. The rebound, Mutombo, his 8th.
Boy, Mutombo's doing a good job on the defensive boards. He really is playing big inside tonight.
Reggie Williams, a 21-point night going for him.
See, they got him out on top of the floor, in the middle of the floor. They're going to try to run either Rauf or Stith off the screen.
They better hurry up. Time about to expire on the shot clock.
That's what happens when you play with the ball too much against Seattle. Shot clock winds down, they double team you, and then you got no place to go with it. So you've got to get into your offense about 10 seconds. You can't wait till it's 5.
Clock begins to work against Seattle, down to 5 seconds. Kemp will take it, too strong. Rebound pulled away by Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
Yeah, great block out though by LaPhonso Ellis. He did a nice job.
Wide open, Bryant Stith. He had a good look at it. He's got 10 points. The Denver lead back up to 16.
Pete, you notice how they're patient in making the extra pass. They're killing the double team with ball movement. That's what you have to do. You can't dribble the ball against Seattle. You've got to move it with the pass.
Outside, Detlef Schrempf. He's been the only factor in the third quarter. Mutombo blocked it, but Schrempf will get a trip to the free throw line.
I think they're going to call that on Stith. If so, that'll be his fourth.
It is Stith's fourth.
That will really hurt them. See, he gets his leg in. I mean, Mutombo comes over and gets the block shot. Had Stith known that Mutombo was there, he could have let him go. So now Rodney Rogers will check in, and what that will do is that'll put Reggie Williams down to the big guard position, and Rodney Rogers will play small forward. So Reggie now will step into the backcourt.
Detlef Schrempf at the line. 14 points on the night, make it 15. I look at tonight's Chevrolet scoreboard, the only other game. The Orlando Magic eliminated by the Indiana Pacers. Orlando scoring just 8 points in the fourth quarter as Indiana beats them 99-86 to sweep that series and advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Interesting lineup on the floor now. McMillan comes in at the point guard position, and he will guard Mahmoud. So now they've got a big lineup out there. They've got big guards, Gill and McMillan. Let's see if they try to now scramble the game and maybe even try to post up the smaller Denver guards.
73-59, Nuggets by 14.
Jump hook
with Sam Perkins on him. The illegal DE call will be a technical foul against Seattle. That's their second.
Floor spacing and ball movement are of the utmost importance, and then you've got to shoot a good percentage from the outside against Seattle. Denver has done all those three things tonight.
And the #1 free throw shooter in the NBA this year, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. His first trip to the line tonight, he's got 8 points.
You know, they had an interesting feature on him not too long ago. And man, I really felt for this young guy with his Tourette's syndrome. He said sometimes it takes him 2 hours to leave his house because of all of his little tics and things and all of his compulsions and everything. And then he said sometimes what makes me a great free throw shooter is everything has to be perfect. I might have shoot him for 2 hours. If they hit the rim, I won't leave the gym.
Reggie Williams again, the rebound pulled away by Mutombo. Another offensive board for the Nuggets. Behind the back pass to LaPhonso Ellis, who got mugged.
They're not even going to give him a 2-shot foul. Dan Issel's going to be incensed at this. You watch. They're going to call a foul on the ground. He is not going to be happy with this. What a great player Dan Issel was in his career.
Third foul against Shawn Kemp. You look at these two coaches tonight, Dan Issel, George Karl, a lot of similarities between them. Both former ABA guys, players.
And both gave a lot of credit to Doug Moe in the way that he approaches the game.
And George Karl says, hey, everything we do is not new. He said, some of this stuff I learned from Morgan Wooten, the legendary DeMatha coach 25 years ago, high school coach. 74-59, the score remains. And here's Nate McMillan bringing the ball down to Detlef Schrempf.
See if they go inside to McMillan. He's got Abdul-Rauf on him.
Kendall Gill's jumper short.
Oh, he walked. He got away with it.
The crowd noticed. Kendall Gill hits the jumper.
Why is it?
Points for Kendall Gill.
Why is it that when I say he got away with it, the 18,000 fans saw it and the referee didn't?
Well, they've only got 6 eyes working out there compared to 28,000.
Okay, all right.
74-61.
So you figured that out for me. Thanks,
by 13. Rodney Rogers working against Detlef Schrempf. Closing in on the 6-minute mark here in the third quarter.
So look where that clock is, too. They got to get the shot up.
There's the jump hook we were talking about from Mutombo. It goes, giving him 15.
See, they're laying behind him in the post. That shot's there for him. If they'll throw it inside to him, he's got the jump hook. They might have to make an adjustment, start fronting him or double-teaming him on catch.
Nuggets up by 15 again. Sam Perkins inside. Around and out. Another rebound from Mutombo. He's got 10.
They got numbers if they'll push it.
Abdul-Rauf shooting over Detlef Schrempf. The putback by Rodney Rogers. This Denver Nuggets team playing the game of their young lives tonight.
This is so important for them to get this great start in the third quarter.
Schrempf, who has been the only factor. He has 8 points in this third quarter. Seattle as a team has just 11. 78-63, Nuggets by 15. Abdul-Rauf beats McMillan. Gets it off to Reggie Williams. Across to Rodney Rogers for three. Little strong. Another rebound. Number 11 for Mutombo. Back to Rogers. Power move inside. No. Bodies falling everywhere. McMillan and Gill both taking a dive.
You tell me you don't like Rodney Rogers. This guy, the power, I mean, he's got a sweet shooting touch from three. The give and go, he had a power dunk. Watch this power dunk follow up now. He runs the floor, doesn't give up on the play, no block out, and he's there for the powerful finish. Then he misses the three, gets it back, drives it to the basket, gets to the free throw line. This guy's having a sensational night.
What a promising player he is. As you mentioned, he got off to a very slow start for Denver this year. He was very heavy when he came in.
Came in overweight, and it slowed him down early, and now he's starting to fit in, and he can play both forward positions for you. Gives you your best deep shooter. Rodney Rogers is going to be a terrific addition to this team for a long time.
13 points for Rogers. 17-point lead for the Nuggets, 80-63. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Loose ball battle for. Schrempf comes away with it. Rogers almost stole it from him. Perkins inside for two.
Boy, the bodies are flying too on those loose balls. Reggie
Williams for
Williams
Sam Perkins.
tried to get back into the play, and he went sailing underneath the basket.
80-65 Nuggets.
Jump hook in the lane. Spins baseline.
Nice move. Oh, he traveled. They're going to take the basket away from him. And give the ball back to Seattle.
That's 2 traveling violations on this in this quarter on Dikembe. But he's doing so many other things well. Just say, keep playing, big fella. You're doing a great job.
McMillan to Shawn Kemp. Kemp got into the paint. And drew the foul. Looked like Rogers got him. That's his second. And at the line, Shawn Kemp. A very quiet night so far for Shawn Kemp, who's the leading Seattle scorer. You can see only 2 of 8 from the field, just 7 points. During the regular season, Shawn Kemp averaged 18 points a game. In this playoff series with Denver, 14.5 points a game.
Yeah, not only that, but going in tonight, he was shooting 10 for 31, 32%.
And he was 5th in the league, 54% during the regular season. So it's not been a good series for Kemp.
Perkins is at 31%. You've got Gill at 26, Askew at 38, and McMillan at 43. So the shooting has been way down in this series. They've shot just well enough to beat Denver in the game 2 after really blowing them out in game 1.
And now Shawn Kemp called for a foul, his 4th.
That's frustration. You try to get back into the game in a 2 or 3 minute period of time, and now Shawn Kemp draws his 4th foul.
That's the 4th team foul, so the next one will send Denver to the line. 80-66 Nuggets. 4:05 to go in the third quarter. Reggie Williams beats 2. Sonics outside to Ellis somehow. Ellis's jumper won't go. Rebound comes out to Kendall Gill. Sonics on the run. He's got Schrempf on a wing. Getting back nicely on defense though, Denver. And they steal the ball right back. Abdul-Rauf stolen back by the chief pickpocket, Nate McMillan, to Kendall Gill. 11 points for Gill.
Mahmoud telegraphed that pass the whole way. When you're Nate McMillan, you're like a defensive back or a safety. You watch the man's eyes where he's going to go with it. He picked that one off. That's a 4-point swing.
Nuggets lead now 12.
That clock starting to wind down once again.
Nice move inside by Ellis, blocked by Shawn Kemp. Save to McMillan. Off it goes to Kemp. Kemp. Oh, what a collision between Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf and Sam Perkins.
Boy, this is an interesting call. Actually, Rauf and Perkins went together. This should be the 15th foul, so they should be shooting. So this is going to be 2 points for Denver.
Third foul on Perkins. We got Sam Perkins, 6'9", 255. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who has lost a lot of weight since signing with Denver. 6'1", he must only weigh about 145 now. And they hit hard.
You watch him now. I mean, he is such a perfectionist at the free throw line. when he practices, again, if he doesn't swish it, he's unhappy. It's like if it hits the rim,
he'll stay and shoot 100 more.
That's exactly right.
Until all 100 of them swish. There's one. He's got 9. 81-68. Here comes Ricky Pierce in for Seattle. Schrempf sits down. Darnell Mee is checked back in for the Nuggets.
We need to mention also, too, Seattle's made their decision. Win or lose, they're going back to Seattle after this game tonight.
Well, game 4 is not until Thursday. In a couple of days.
Right, and practice for a couple days. So, they will not stick around here regardless of the outcome tonight.
Oh, Nate McMillan complaining to Hugh Evans about that call. Timeout's going to be taken here by Denver. This crowd at McNichols loving this. Still the Nuggets by 14. Welcome back to Denver, and this time Doug Collins' 2 eyes proved better than the 28,000 that are here watching.
Exactly right. This ball is clearly off Sam Perkins. Seattle was not happy with this call, but you're going to see he throws the ball right off Sam Perkins' leg. So an excellent call by the officials, and Seattle did not like that.
82-68 Denver. We've got 2:48 to go in the third. Robert Pack is checked back in. Nuggets in the game, still shooting 60%. Back down to Mutombo. The jump hook from out deep. Wide right, rebound Shawn Kemp.
Pushed out about 2 steps outside his range on that one. Nice play by Perkins defensively.
McMillan cross court to Perkins. Perkins into the paint, gets tied up by LaPhonso Ellis. And that's who the foul will be on, his third.
Well, at least they made him go to the basket with his right hand. Pete, here's the hustle board now. This talks about this game tonight. 28-16 rebounds, plus 12 for the Nuggets. You see steals almost even. Remember now, Seattle number 1 in steals in the NBA at almost 12 a game, or over 12 a game. So it's 36-22 plus 14 on the hustle statistics. And you look up on the scoreboard, plus 14.
Sam Perkins at the line. This is almost happening too quickly for Dan Issel to even understand after that disastrous first half they played in game 1.
He said, you know what, we came out and we were almost like we were afraid and we were anxious and all those things. He said really the only guy that played with any kind of composure was Dikembe Mutombo.
Well, tonight they're playing like veterans instead of the youngest team in the NBA. 82-70, Nuggets by 12. 2:15 left in the third.
There's a post-up. Rodney Rogers, Ricky Pierce. He should be able to muscle him.
Pierce knocked it out of bounds. 8 seconds left in the shot clock. Still Denver's ball. Mack almost lost it. And now he walked with it.
You got to stay out of the corners against Seattle, man. They draw a picture right there. They get you down there, and they're going to swarm you. So that ball cannot go in the corners.
Under 2 minutes to go now in the third.
And they're quietly trying to get it to 10 once again.
Inside Ricky Pierce. And he'll get another trip to the free throw line. Mahmoud got him, his third.
When Ricky Pierce is in the game, Seattle loves to run a set. He loves to curl. And he curls over the top of a big man. And they look to go right inside to him. It's a great pass down from the top, but the guy has to step up and bump him, the big man, as he sets that screen. Otherwise, he's going to curl and get right into the lane.
At the line, Ricky Pierce, 5 points tonight, 3 out of 4 from the free throw line.
There's Ricky Pierce.
Another miss. He missed 3 the other night. Tomorrow night, doubleheader on TNT, beginning at 8 Eastern Time. Game 3 in the Atlanta-Miami series, tied at 1. Then tomorrow night's Game 2, San Antonio and Utah. That series tied at 1. A couple of big ones for you tomorrow night. 1 of 2 from the line. Ricky Pierce, he's got 6. 82-71.
Well, Ernie Johnson had an interesting conversation with Dennis Rodman there at halftime. Also, Dennis has got to be in tremendous pain right now, realizing he can't play in a very important game for his team tomorrow night. And we don't know how healthy David Robinson's going to be.
And, of course, there'll be some missing bodies in that Atlanta-Miami game, too.
So, 2 critical game 3s, series tied up at 1 game apiece, and we've got key players from both teams missing.
A minute 36 left in the third. It'll be Rodney Rogers at the line after the foul by Gill.
See, Rodney Rogers is as strong and is bigger than Ricky Pierce, so they're going right to him in the post. The one thing, Ricky Pierce is not a shot blocker, so he's got to remember just go up, not to expose the ball, because Ricky Pierce will try to strip it. Just turn and power and go up high, and he'll be able to get the shot.
Rogers, 13 points tonight. He's 3 of 4 from the line. 14 for Rogers, the lead back up to 12, 83-71.
See if they go back to Ricky Pierce once again. He loves again to curl, see if he comes off Perkins right into the middle of the lane. There he is.
The jumper won't go, though. The rebound pulled away by Mutombo. His 12th rebound of the game, off to Robert Pack. Pack penetrates back outside to Darnell Mee. The rookie from Western Kentucky has the ball stolen by Shawn Kemp. Kemp off to McMillan. Perkins for 3. Nope. And Darnell Mee pulls it away.
LaPhonso Ellis has not been really hurt from much offensively.
No, he hasn't. He's had a very quiet night.
He has 4 points. And he's one of their leading scorers on the season.
Under a minute to go, 83-71 Denver. Underneath Rogers, can he control it? It was last touched by Gill. 5 left in the shot clock now.
That clock is starting to work more and more as the game goes on against Denver. They're a little bit slower getting into their offense. And again, they've had their most success working early in that shot clock than letting it get down to 7 and under.
Rogers will inbound it. Remember, just 5 left on the shot clock.
And remember, stay out of the corner. There's where Ellis is going. He's got to be real careful down there. He's going to get trapped, and that's what happens. It's death down there, Coach. Stay out of the corner.
In the corner against Seattle.
I think they're going to put 1 second on the clock. Say the ball went out with 1 second.
So they have put a second back.
Oh, he got held. What a great play they ran there. Terrific. That's going to be a 2-shot foul.
Ricky Pierce called for it. And Dan Issel got the attention of his team, called that play.
This is a great play. Now watch Mutombo. He's going to screen on Payton, and then he's going to slip it. Perkins starts to jump, and then he goes right to the basket. They're going to lob it, and Pierce has to grab him. That's a great play by Denver now to get to the free throw line for 2. 1 second on the shot clock. You don't think you're going to get a shot up.
And Mutombo will at least have a chance to make a couple of free throws here. Misses the first one. That's his second miss. He's 3 of 5 from the line tonight. This is not his strength, 58% for the year.
Well, on the season also, too, Denver shoots at under 72%, which is 20th in the NBA. And in the playoffs, they're shooting under 70%. They're shooting 66%, which is worst of all the playoff teams.
16 points now for Dikembe Mutombo, 84-71. Nuggets leading it by 13. Half a minute to go in the third.
Well, they're going to go to Pierce against Mee, so Mee's going to have to dig in and play some defense.
Shawn Kemp over Rogers. Oh, how about that move by Nate McMillan? 5 points for McMillan, 84-73. Denver's maintaining that double-digit lead. They led by 15, remember, after the first quarter.
Too quick on the clock. You could have gotten the last shot. Now if they score, it's under 9 once again.
Great play by Robert Pack. This was a great play again by Nate McMillan. He had more time than he thought there. The rebound pulled away by LaPhonso Ellis. Loses it to Shawn Kemp. Over to Nate McMillan. Horn sounds. Won't count.
Yeah, Nate McMillan got excited there. He had 5 seconds, and he didn't realize how much time was left on the clock.
It's still an 11-point lead. Denver 84, Seattle 73 with 1 quarter to go in Game 3 of this Western Conference first-round playoff series.
Well, the Nuggets lead by 11. They've averaged 84.5 points a game in Seattle. Tonight they have 84 after 3. This is why Nate McMillan is Mr. Versatile. Give and go, shots and air ball. He tips it in. And just, I think, one of the stabilizing influences on this team. We know he leads the league in steals, but he does so many other things, and he plays multiple positions.
And quarter number 4 begins with Nate McMillan on the court, along with Gary Payton, Detlef Schrempf, Sam Perkins, and Ricky Pierce for the Sonics. Stith is back in there with Reggie Williams, Brian Williams, Dikembe Mutombo, and Robert Pack for Denver. Seattle has not really made a real serious run at this Denver lead. They got it down to 9 points at halftime, and that's really been about as close as they've been.
It's going to be on Mutombo for sticking his knee out. See, we're in a little two-man game, and Schrempf got caught with Reggie Williams, too strong. And anytime that matchup has come tonight, they've gone right to Detlef Schrempf. Reggie just not strong enough to handle him. He's playing Ricky Pierce right now, so he cannot switch over to Schrempf.
Collision after the steal attempt and a foul call against Nate McMillan.
That was actually a good foul because
That's his fourth.
Reggie Williams had a layup.
And the inbounds pass will come from Bryant Stith. Opening minute of the fourth quarter, Denver up by 11.
Notice how they kept the ball in the middle of the floor for the most part tonight, too. You see Pack drifting off a little to the side, but not much running and trapping from
No,
Seattle.
there hasn't been any, not nearly as much of that as we normally see from Seattle defensively. And a foul call against Gary Payton there. That's his first.
Boy, Robert Pack upset at Brian Williams or Mutombo, one of the other ones. They did not run the play, and he's out there dribbling, and the clock is winding down, and he let them know, get into the play. There are 2 quick fouls now in Seattle. Remember now that you get into the penalty early in the fourth quarter becomes a major factor, especially if you're trying to catch up.
That's already the 3rd foul call against Seattle. It's the 3rd on Detlef Schrempf. And we're only 52 seconds into the quarter. Again, single coverage on Williams inside to Brian Williams for 2.
He remembered to play that time. His number was called.
He's got 4. That lead back up to 13. The Sonics a little out of sync tonight. And Denver may live to see Game 4 in this series on Thursday night. Still a lot of time, though, left in this fourth quarter. And that's not the man you want to send to the free throw line, although he is having an off series as far as free throw shooting.
You're going to see a little interchange here. Mutombo's going to screen across. Perkins is going to switch, or I thought he was going to switch. He's slow getting there. And Brian Williams with a dunk, and now we've got a little extracurricular. We've got a technical. It's going to be a double technical, you know that. I think one of them is going to be on Brian Williams. You see him holding his throat. He said he got hit in the throat. I don't know who the other one's on right now.
Detlef Schrempf.
Okay, Schrempf.
And now another, Brian Williams is gone. The second technical call against Brian Williams, and he has been ejected. 2 quick tees here with 10:46 to go in the fourth quarter.
Well, you know what Dan Issel said? He said throw him out of the game, but get out of his face. You see him read his lips, he said get out of his face.
So Brian Williams is through for the night. Assess 2 quick technicals here.
I don't know what he said, but he got Delaney's attention.
And Ricky Pierce, who had a 4 of 7 night from the line, is 5 of 7 from the line tonight. 7 points.
Now see, LaPhonso Ellis now has got to come in off the bench. And he's got to start giving them some offense. He's only got 4 points, and this guy's averaging 15 points on the season. So they need him in this fourth quarter to perk up, maybe give him 2 or 3 hoops here.
Detlef Schrempf kicks it back outside to Payton, around to Pierce. Pierce inside, blocked by Dikembe Mutombo. His 4th block of the night.
See, now Denver's got to be very careful here. They got to channel this emotion, Pete. They're getting a little bit out of sync here. Great block by Mutombo, and Schrempf is going to come up with a loose ball, and someone's going to reach in and grab him.
Dikembe Mutombo called for a 2nd foul.
Both teams have 3 team fouls already, and we've only played a minute and a half into the fourth quarter.
With Mutombo coming at him. Rebound pulled away by Stith. Nuggets on the run. Stith Schrempf will bring it back out.
It's a good job here. Let Mutombo get down the floor.
Here he comes. You know what else Denver has been able to do in this game, Doug? At least they have in the second half for the most part. Remember Dan Issel telling us this morning, as you see Mutombo hit his 18th point of the night, Dan Issel saying we'd really like to get Seattle into more of a half-court game if we can.
Absolutely.
If we can do that, we think we can beat them, and that's what's happening here tonight.
How many turnovers do they have on the night? That's been the real key.
Only 12.
12 turnovers. And you see right now Mutombo with a spin move. Payton is caught on him. The reach in, the foul, the three-point play opportunity. Nuggets by 14.
And tonight's Dutch boy in the paint shows a remarkable turnaround by the Denver Nuggets. They were out-rebounded, averaged 52-39 the first two games in this series. Tonight the Nuggets have out-rebounded the Sonics 31-18. And points in the paint, 42 points for the Denver Nuggets in the paint.
Well, we've talked about steals, we've talked about points off turnovers, we've talked about rebounding, we've talked about shooting. It's all been in Denver's favor tonight. The hustle board says 43-27 plus 16. And we're sitting on a 14-point game right now. Fast break points, the Sonics only 6. Remember, 36 in game 1, 26 in game 2. So, you know, Pete, when we sit around and we talk about what do we think is going to happen tonight in the game, I don't think there's any way that Dan Issel or anybody would have felt like he could have held this team to 6 points in transition and only 7 offensive rebounds after they were giving up 16.5 in the first 2 games.
And the game started out this way, and it's just been maintained all the way through. At the end of the first quarter, if you just joined us, Denver had a 41-26 lead over this Seattle team.
I thought it was slipping away from him at half. I really...
When it got down to 9.
Yes, I did. And then they came out that second half and stormed out with a 10-5 spurt, and they haven't looked back yet, but there's still almost 10 minutes to go. They got to play this one to the finish.
The lead is 14 now for Denver as they try to cut Seattle's lead in this best-of-5 series to 2 games to 1. A three-pointer by Detlef Schrempf won't go. The rebound pulled away by Bryant Stith. Another Denver rebound.
If there's a knock on Seattle, it's if you make them shoot outside jump shots other than a Ricky Pierce. They have an Achilles heel, and when they don't shoot well, they become vulnerable. And you're seeing that when they don't score on the fast break.
He inside to Mutombo before he got the ball. Another foul call against Detlef Schrempf. That's 4 on him.
Detlef fouled him with his face. That was a chin foul. Mutombo flashed into the post. George Karl saying, my goodness, what has hit us tonight? He's checking for his teeth now.
You've heard of hacking? That one was called yakking.
That's right.
It's his 4th.
Now they're already in a penalty. That's the 15 foul. So from 9:19 on, they'll be shooting free throws. The important thing is you got to make them. Remember, they're under 67% for the playoffs, which is the worst of all the teams in the playoffs. So now they've got to deliver.
Mutombo makes the first one. He is 5 of 8 from the line tonight. 19 points. 89-74. The rebound. This has really looked like a reversal of roles for these two teams tonight. Every time the ball goes into the hands of a Seattle player, somebody's flying at him.
Well, every time someone penetrates, Mutombo is waiting there for them. He has chased him out of the lane numerous times tonight. They have such great respect for his shot blocking. #1 in the league at over 4 a game.
Posted up on Detlef Schrempf. He'll take that jump hook over Schrempf. It won't go. The rebound, Kendall Gill.
You know what, though? I like the fact they're going into the big guy. They're playing behind him. Throw the ball to your big guy. He's blocking shots. He's rebounding. I think that's great. Get to the offensive boards, but give him some touches inside.
8:40 the time left. Nuggets leading it by 15. Ricky Pierce inside, gets one to fall.
He's so strong in there.
He's really had to work hard tonight, though. He's just got 9 points.
I agree with you, and he's also, every time he wheels in the lane, he says, where's Dikembe before I go up with his shot?
89-76 Denver. Ricky Pierce is 2 of 7 from the field tonight.
Well, a lot of people don't put him in the same breath defensively with Elijah Wan and David Robinson, but he is.
There's what Denver has to be careful of. You were talking about this, Doug. They've got to be careful with those turnovers.
See,
number 13.
Look at the lineup now that George Karl has on the floor. He's gone small. He's got 4 guards in the game and Shawn Kemp. Now, Denver's got to be real careful because they got a big line. They got Mutombo and they got LaPhonso Ellis. Let's see if they can take advantage of it if little can beat big here.
Almost stolen by LaPhonso. Down to 15 seconds on the shot clock. Denver very much more the aggressor defensively tonight.
See if they go to Askew one-on-one against Ellis.
This on Reggie Williams. Got away from him. 2 for 8 from the field now. LaPhonso Ellis the rebound. Another Denver rebound.
Robert Pack has really played a good game tonight. Pete, he's got into the gaps. He's got a strong body. They've had a very difficult time trapping him. Now remember, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf is more of a 2 guard. So when Pack is in the game, he gives them more of a point guard, and you can play Stith and Reggie Williams off the ball. When Mahmoud is in the game, it forces Reggie Williams to be more of a primary ball handler. So almost 2 different kinds of team when you come in with Pack.
Pack hits the first one. I want to remind you to stay tuned to TNT for Inside the NBA. Fred Hickman and Bob Lorenz with scores and highlights. We'll also hear from Glenn Robinson, who decided to become eligible for the NBA draft, and a special feature, Trash Talking in the NBA. That's Inside the NBA, coming up on TNT following our game.
Well, it's funny you should talk about trash talking. Gary Payton just got a technical. So is that a segue into our little feature?
Nice to see the players cooperate with our promotional announcements. Although I'm sure that George Karl and Gary Payton aren't too happy about that call. 91-76. George Karl is mystified by this performance by his team tonight. And you can understand why.
I tell you what, this will be a tape that if Denver holds on and wins, Seattle will take a long look at this over the next couple days. More importantly, their energy level and the way they came out to play this game tonight. They had a little bit of a swagger and they got knocked on their heels real quickly.
And the Nuggets up by 16 with 7.5 minutes remaining. Ricky Pierce not having any success at all against the Nuggets tonight. Going to the basket or trying to shoot the outside jumper. Timeout's going to be called here by Seattle. We'll see if they have one last gasp in them. 7:31 to go. Nuggets 92, Sonics 76.
Well, Pete, we talked about the clean sweep before. The last 5 NBA champions have swept through the first round. We see the Bulls the last 3, the Pistons 2, if that's any indication. And maybe we ought to start talking about the Indiana Pacers. They're the first ones in right now.
They are the first ones in after sweeping the Orlando Magic with their win tonight. 7:31 the time left. 92-76 Denver up.
And Seattle's only 1 for 6 in this quarter.
They've only scored 24 points in this half. Kendall Gill gets him 2 more. That gives him 13.
You see Mutombo standing there. Vincent Askew must have given him 5 head and shoulder fakes. Didn't even move and still blocked the shot.
Now a little more of that aggressive defense from Seattle, but Robert Pack dribbles right through it. (94-78). Shawn Kemp on the other end. The crowd still buzzing about Robert Pack penetrating that Seattle defense with authority.
How about the speed that he went down? He left 3 guys in his wake and just went up. Now you see why he was second in the slam dunk. What a spectacular play.
The building shook.
Here he goes again. Are you serious?
And this time Shawn Kemp would have none of that.
Wow.
Askew called for the foul as first.
I told you this guy you were going to see in the second half. The explosiveness. My goodness. Look at him go down the floor. Let's listen.
And now Robert Pack at the free throw line. He has 10 points in the game.
See, he gives him such a different look. I know I keep talking about that, but when he plays well, he's got 11 points, 5 assists, probably 2 turnovers on the night, which he had in the first half. But he gives them really a point guard, something you must have when you play against Seattle.
1 of 2, rebound, pulled away by Ellis, lost to Schrempf.
Great hustle, though. Good try.
95-80 Denver. 6:25 to go. Askew, a little short jumper goes for him. He's on the board for the first time tonight. Nuggets by 13.
Be prepared now. The last 6.5 is going to be a scramble, ragged game. So Denver better lock in and be prepared to get bumped.
Reggie Williams out in three-point territory again. No. And a loose ball foul is going to be called on LaPhonso Ellis over the top of Detlef Schrempf.
Got to be
his fourth.
Very careful. Reggie Williams took the quick 3, misses it. You get a foul down there on this end. It's only the 4th team foul. So from here on in now, Seattle will shoot free throws also. You don't need those quick shots. Take it to the basket, force them to foul you, because Seattle's going to be aggressive now. They're behind.
If you wonder what Reggie was doing taking that 3, if you didn't see the first quarter, Reggie hit 3 threes in the first quarter. That's more than Denver normally hits in an entire game. Now Askew tries a 3. It's short. Pack with a rebound. 3-on-2 break. Reggie Williams to finish this one. 23 points for Reggie Williams. Denver 97-82.
And who was in the middle on the fast break? Robert Pack once again. See, the small lineup right now has not made a dent in the Denver lead at all. They're doing a great job defending Vincent Askew. He's being played by LaPhonso Ellis, so they're getting nothing out of this matchup, and as a result, they're coming back in big. Now Askew will sit down, Perkins back in. We see Reggie Williams, and how many times have we seen him out on the front end of the fast break tonight?
Having one of the best games of his career. His season high during the regular season, 27. He's got 23 in this game.
Boy, I tell you, Mutombo's just waiting for Kemp to shoot that little floater.
Kendall Gill from outside. Kendall Gill warming up in the second half. He's got 15 points, 8 of them coming in the second half. 97-84 Denver.
Here's the trap coming. Watch Schrempf. He's going to come as soon as Pack starts to come across half court. They got to keep the ball out of the corners. That's an unforced error. Reggie Williams took his eye off the ball.
And with 5 minutes remaining, Seattle trying to make one last run.
It's going to be ragged. I'm telling you, Pete, there's going to be free throws. They're going to trap. They're going to press. They're going to get bumped. Denver has to play very, very strong.
Down low to Perkins. On Ellis, Pack comes over with some help, and Perkins still cashes in 2 more. He's got 17. And now the Denver Nuggets getting a little concerned maybe about this lead, dwindling down to 11 points, 97-86, with still a lot of time left. 4:44 in the game.
Yeah, Nuggets lead down to 11 now, 4:44 to go in the fourth quarter. Let me talk a little bit here now about Sam Perkins. You know he's a lefty. He loves to come into the lane. If Pack is going to come down and trap, he's got to get down here, or you've got to send Perkins out this way. Watch the angle that he takes, and he lets him split him. Goes down and he gives him a gap. You cannot allow the guy to come to his strength unless you're going to pin him and force him now to be a passer. So a fundamental mistake there by Robert Pack that cost his team 2 points.
And now with play resuming, backcourt pressure applied by Seattle. With Denver leading at 97-86.
Here comes the trap once again. They're going to have to be strong with the basketball and move it out of the double teams.
And keep it out of the corners.
Now they've got to penetrate. Clock is down to 10. Pack has got to penetrate.
It's down to 5.
Here comes the trap once again. Look at the shot they get.
Oh, it went! 25 points for Reggie Williams, having the game of his life tonight.
I'm going to give it a Pete Van Wieren. If that goes.
99-86. Sam Perkins blocked by Mutombo. His 5th block. The 10th block of the night by Denver. They're on their feet here at McNichols. They may not sit down the rest of the night.
If Seattle goes on, if Denver goes on and wins the game, that last 2 sequences might typify the whole night. A running shot by Reggie Williams and a block by Mutombo.
Got a turnover there, gives it right back to Seattle. Gill down to Shawn Kemp. Kemp off the glass too strong. A rebound Reggie Williams to Stith. Able to control it across midcourt. He's going to stop and fire from 10. Yes. They're getting every break in the book tonight. Every roll, every bounce. They've out-rebounded Seattle 37-24. They've blocked 10 shots to Seattle's 3. They haven't turned the ball over very much. Nate McMillan 3.
I got an interesting statistic here I saw tonight. When Denver blocks 10 shots, and they've done it 27 times on the year, they're 20-7. So that's a magical number, and it's led by Dikembe.
52 times during the regular season, Seattle held an opponent to under 100 points. They did it the first 2 games of this playoff series, but not tonight. Denver 101, Seattle 89, and a chance for more for the Nuggets. With still 3 minutes remaining, 3:01 actually. Shawn Kemp picking up another foul. He's got 5 now, and a 20-second timeout will be taken here. With 3:01 remaining, Denver leading at 101-89. Well, Doug, we still look at this matchup in this series with Denver and Seattle, and you still have to say Seattle is a very heavy favorite to go on to the next round.
Yes.
But what this accomplishes for this Denver team, if they're able to hang on here, Dan Issel told us earlier today that even if his team didn't win tonight or didn't play well tonight, the experience for the future was worth everything. Coming out and playing like this team may grow 2 years in one.
You know, this team reminds me a little bit of the Chicago team that I coached early. And what I mean by that is they had Michael Jordan, obviously the superstar, but you bring in a Pippen, you bring in a Grant, you bring in some young players, and that's what Denver has. They have some great young players, and they're only going to get better. So the people in Denver should be extremely excited about the future here. A very young team, and you've got a great defensive center to anchor everything around.
Reggie Williams' high game during the regular season, 27 points. If he makes this, he'll match it. Remember those 3 three-pointers he had in the first quarter, which really got the Nuggets going tonight. 27 points for Reggie Williams. 103-89, Denver by 14. Another three-point effort by McMillan.
Look at the hustle. Who comes up with it?
And a 3-on-1 break here. Reggie Williams. 29 points for Reggie. A season high. And a chance to make it 30. The oldest Denver Nugget. He's only 30. Having the game of his life tonight.
And look who's leading it once again. Robert Pack with his speed and quickness. Reggie Williams with the finish. And Pete, I've got a headache.
105-89. As we told you earlier, win or lose, the plan was for George Karl and the Seattle Supersonics to fly back to Seattle tonight. Looks like they're going to have to fly back here for Game 4 on Thursday. 30 points for Reggie Williams.
I tell you, knowing George Karl, he'll probably have a VCR on that plane, and the guys will have to watch this tape going home.
That wasn't what they had in mind.
Well, I think that George Karl has pulled the plug. Got Ervin Johnson into the game now. We have Michael Cage, Vincent Askew, Kendall Gill, and Chris King.
So the Sonics are conceding this one to the Denver Nuggets. And there will be a Game 4 on Thursday night right back here at McNichols Arena. Another Denver rebound. They have out-rebounded Seattle 39-24.
Well, I tell you, if I'm Dan Issel now, I start little by little getting my young players out of the game and let this crowd start to acknowledge just how proud they are of their effort tonight. Let's see if he starts going to his bench here now.
Chris King called for the foul. Dan Issel has assisted Mike Evans and Gene Littles.
Gene Littles was one of my first assistants in Chicago.
Former head coach at Charlotte.
I told Dan, I said, you're carrying a heavy load there, buddy. He just sort of laughed.
At the line, Reggie Williams. His career high, by the way, 35 points, and he's approaching that now. He has 31.
And that C stands for captain, and he's playing like the leader tonight.
He certainly has.
Here comes Bryant Stith.
Rodney Rogers checks back in for him. He gets a nice hand from the crowd here at McNichols.
Reggie Williams will be coming out of the game. Darnell Mee will be in for him after the free throws. Now he can come out of the game on the stoppage. Listen to the hand for Reggie Williams.
Reggie Williams. A standing ovation.
It sort of gives me goosebumps, Pete. I tell you, it's a wonderful feeling to run off the floor to those kind of crowds and that kind of hand. That's
Listen to the Reggie chant.
Listen to that for as an athlete.
A night he'll never forget. 107-89 Denver with 2 minutes to go. Robert Pack for three. It's going to be short. Ervin Johnson off to Kendall Gill. Inside Gill. Blocked. The 11th block of the night for the Denver Nuggets. LaPhonso Ellis gets the credit for that one.
Better get it across here. You're going to have a violation. Just barely beats it. I'm going to call a timeout so they can get Mutombo out of the game.
And the timeout stops the clock with 1:35 to go. It's been all Nuggets. Well, with Denver about to send this to a fourth game in this best-of-5 series, you look at who has come back from being down 0-2 in a 5-game series to win. Phoenix last year, the New York Knicks 1990, 1987 Golden State, and look who was coaching that team. So George Karl is going to be able to give a little personal experience when he talks to his Seattle ball club about let's not take these Denver Nuggets lightly anymore.
Up close and personal, that's what it'll be in the next couple days.
We've got 1:35 to go. Nuggets up by 18. This is their biggest lead of the night.
You know what I think George Karl's going to talk to his guys about? And he talked about he was disappointed when they won Game 2 because he didn't feel like they came out and played as hard as they did in Game 1. Tonight they got knocked back and they never recovered. They got hit with a stinging blow in the first quarter and were on their heels the rest of the night.
Kendall Gill. Randall had just checked in for Denver.
All right, now,
the rebound.
Now give us your line here of why he's the perfect player.
He's the most consistent player in basketball because Mark Randall averaged 30 games a year in college and he's averaged 30 games a year in his NBA career.
You told me that
the
today.
Most consistent guy in the whole world of basketball.
I wanted you to get that in.
Stolen by Michael Cage. Ervin Johnson had it tipped away by Randall. Under a minute to go. The Seattle Supersonics will be flying home, practicing, and flying back to Denver.
Robert Pack was sensational tonight. He really gave that team a tremendous lift off the bench with his ball handling, his defense, and just his power.
Kevin Brooks checks in. Chris King, the jumper, with the rebound. And the Nuggets, even with the benches cleared, continue to get the rebounds. 42-25, they have out-rebounded Seattle tonight. And in the first 2 games, they were out-rebounded by an average of 52-39. Brooks! Everything working for Denver.
Now remember I said that this is a different team at home. They average 104 at home, 96 on the road. It's almost an 8-point difference. And tonight they're at 109 after averaging 84.5 in Seattle. And Seattle averaging 101, and Seattle gets 89 tonight. Or at least they're sitting on 89, shooting 2 free throws.
Vincent Askew at the line with a 2-point night. And the fans beginning to file out of McNichols. Happy with what they've seen here tonight. And Dan Issel's got to be very proud of this team, which he calls my kids. He's talking about his family when he talks about this young Denver team.
Well, I think he feels this is part of his family. I think that he's done a wonderful job coming over here really without any head coaching experience. And I like the way his young players are developing. In Denver, you used to win with offense. They now do it with defense.
Rodney Rogers will get a trip to the free throw line.
Hey, Rodney, we got to talk to you now. This is garbage time, so when you go in there, someone's going to hit you in your eye. So I would stay out on the perimeter the rest of the game and maybe shoot a jump shot or pass it around.
This young man in his rookie season, a big part of the Denver story tonight. He had a big first quarter when he came off the bench, scoring 7. He was also a big part of that early third quarter surge by Denver.
Well, his eyes are watering right now, but again, you've got to love his potential. The fact that he's an excellent three-point shooter. You see what he's done tonight, 14 points. But more importantly, he gives you another big, strong body out on the floor. And in the playoffs, we've seen how important that is.
110-91. The closing seconds and one more whistle from Hugh Evans. Tom Hammond's call for another one.
Dikembe, that smile says it all. Look at Mahmoud.
There are smiles everywhere you look over in the Denver side of the court. Some very concerned looks over on the other side of the court where Seattle is sitting. Some mystified looks. How did this happen to us? We were right there, ready to wrap this thing up, go home and take a few days off. Get ready for the second round. Now our work is cut out for us coming back here for game 4.
Never underestimate your opponent until you knock them out. The toughest game to win in a series is the last game when you're going to eliminate somebody. Ask Indiana tonight. They were down 8 in the fourth quarter and came back and knocked out Orlando.
The Denver Nuggets are still alive in round 1 of the Western Conference Series with Seattle. Final score tonight, Denver 110. Seattle 93. It's now a 2-1 lead for the Seattle Supersonics, with game 4 coming up here in Denver on Thursday. Tonight's Budweiser player of the game, not much question about it tonight, Reggie Williams. A career playoff high 31 points, 8 assists, 11 of 16 from the field, 3 big three-pointers in that first quarter. And Budweiser will donate $1,000 on behalf of Reggie Williams to the United Negro College Fund. And Reggie joins us here at our TNT location. Congratulations, Reggie, on a game that guys like you wait to play your entire career.
Yeah, we played well today. I knew we could beat this team if we come out and played our game.
Now, you guys got off to a great start in the first quarter and again in the third quarter. And that was something I know your coach was stressing to you tonight.
Yeah, the defense was there, and plus we didn't turn the ball over. In Seattle, they rattled us a little bit, but we held our composure tonight, and it was a difference.
Reggie, take a look up there at that hustle board tonight. 12 block shots, plus 18 rebounds. They only get plus 5 on steals, but 59 to 37, plus 22 on the hustle board tonight.
Yeah, it was like that in Seattle for them, the favor of Seattle in the 2 games in Seattle. But I knew when we get home, we felt comfortable, Doug, and we was relaxed and ready to play.
Can you talk to us a little bit about all that you've endured in your career? I mean, you're a guy who was a 4th pick in the draft. You've been through a lot.
Yeah.
What a night like tonight means to you.
It means a lot to me. You know, to be appreciated by a club. You only need one club to like you. So Denver liked me.
All right, we're going to take a look now, and we're going to let him give you the description of his call tonight on this shot that you make. So go ahead, Mr. Van Weir, and talk to him.
Well, you were on such a roll. You're making this little move. And here comes the shot right now. And as soon as you let this one go, I said, if this one goes,
and nothing but
we know you're going to have a night.
That's one of those Georgetown floaters.
And you had a couple of those fall for you
tonight. One of them old school moves.
Well, what about now? Game 4, you guys going to get greedy? I mean, this is not going to be an enjoy the experience and out of here, right? You want to push this to 5 games.
Yeah, we want to push it to 5 games. We got a little mad about Seattle leaving tonight. They thought it was going to be a sweep, and they was ready to leave tonight. So we was focused, Doug, and I was ready to play.
Well, congratulations on a wonderful game. And again, you've been through a lot, and I think it's great. I can't imagine the feeling you had when you got that standing ovation at your
it was good. It was good.
Again, congratulations to Reggie Williams, our Budweiser player of the game. Final score once again, 110-93. Denver defeating Seattle, keeping themselves alive. Sonics lead it now 2-1. Game 4 on Thursday. Now let's go back to our Atlanta studios. Here's our new